not a chicky baby anymore. All gone. All gone for good.
She leaps up and grabs the egg with her foot, kicking it under her warm underbelly and settling down upon it contentedly.
Shh, little beeper baby. Mama's here, warm and here with you again.
She cocks a black eye up at you and winks.
Thank you. Ah! I have something for you. Something I buried behind the coop. It's yours. It's yours. Unless some other
I've spotted something.
Ah, yes. One of Mary's heroes passes. Come on through, but mind the smell.
You ever think about running off, like Barnby and Sam did?
Hell no. You know what Raymond would do if he caught us?
Yeah. You're right.
Last time I was here, I summoned my wolf right in the tavern. All hell broke loose. Good times. Good times. I wonder if they'll remember me.
I've spotted something.
This poor unfortunate died just when he thought he was free. There are marks on his body. Something in the water got to him.
Hope you ain't looking for work in this dying town. Besides, you ain't got the look of a fisher about you, I'll tell you that much.
Don't let up now. That's it. The barrels and the chests. On the double. You too, Julian. Show 'em how it's done, man. Go on, you mute sacks of flesh. Put your backs into it. I'll not the Lord dread awaits. Its sails billow with Dallas's breath. I'll...
The Magister stops, barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator, turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
I'm going nowhere right at this moment. Nowhere since something crossed my path and oh so very sharply piqued my interest. Tell me, have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as your bones are being broken with cast iron rods? Respect. Try rancor.
He licks his lips. Dry.
See, I'd like to string you up too. Rack you with rods and leave you dangling over a puddle of your own blood and piss. My favorite one. I'm very good at what I do, see? I don't even need a sauce hound yapping at my side. There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. A current of filth, that is to say, sauce. Best convince me I was mistaken.
He leans in closer and sniffs the air once more.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelt on you, not the magic that dare not speak its name. Very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn straight to the hunt. No doubt a trustee of Dallas is champing at the bit to see some action. Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? A quiet day in a quiet town. One wouldn't think these drifting woods toss on dwarf-troubled waters. But they do. Consider for a moment the dwarf. What is he? A mule? A beast of burden? But some defy that role. There are rats among them, dancing to their rat queen's tune. I've need of a rat catcher. Did I give you the illusion you have a choice? How absurd. I must depart post-haste, but Julian here will stay behind and be a good little parrot. Ask and he will answer.
Stay behind? But I've my orders. Same as you. Dallas.
Like I said, Julian is staying. And with that, I must be off. No hard feelings about the death threats, of course. How about we part shaking hands instead of stringing them up?
There's a moment of fleeting suspicion as his glove closes round the bones of your hand, but only a moment. He grins darkly.
How very heart... One last thing. The Magisters here are diligent men and women. A stranger like you may run into troubles with them. Should this happen, just wave this piece of parchment in their eager little faces. My signature will placate them without fail, I assure you. Adieu and good luck. The Lord Dread awaits. The use of the gallows I pass on to you. The time has come, my stitched-lit lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man your stations.
Left behind like a dog. Blah. 7 curses upon that ship.
The Magister is rubbing the dirt off his robes, none the worse for wear, apparently, from the blast of magic that knocked him off his feet.
You, the so-called friend of Dallas. I'd be whining and dining aboard the Lord Dread if it weren't for you. Your meddling in Magister affairs had better be worth it. Yes, I am very much aware. Wasn't my damned head that hit the floor back there. Now answer me. Did you meet with a Magister caravan on your way into town? The hour's growing late and I'm beginning to worry something might have gone wrong. By the bishop's bones, you saw it? Out with it, man. What happened? Void woken. That means source was used. Which means some third party must have attacked first. And I've a fair idea who that might have been. Raymond, that old goat, always suspected there's more to the Driftwood dwarves than meets the eye. Hate to admit it, but I think he may be right. Too many things have gone wrong along Reaper's Coast to attribute to bad luck. Magister ships sinking, weapons disappearing, and as you've seen, a caravan attacked and destroyed. Rumour has it the Dwarvian Queen herself is behind these acts of sabotage. That is what I want you to prove. They've always been snakes in the grass. Cheap labour, sure, and hard workers too. Half of them are their queen's spies. Her eyes, her ears, her poison-pouring hands. You know what Queen Justinia is like, surely. A tyrant and a master strategist to boot. There's a local thug, Lohar. He runs an operation out of his hideout beneath the Black Bull Tavern. I suspect this man of being a spy for his queen.
It may be interesting to have a word with him. Find out what he's up to. Where I really want you to ferret around is Reaper's Bluffs, to the west of Driftwood.
It's wild territory, remote and hostile, where I believe the dwarves may have set up a base of operations away from prying eyes. Should you find any such place, and better yet, proof that Lohar is working in behalf of Queen Justinia, you will be handsomely rewarded, I assure you. In that case, go forth and let the hunt commence!
I'm all right, as long as I don't too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget.
As the Magister's eyes alight upon you, they widen until they are practically bulging out of their sockets. One tremulous finger rises from voluminous robes and points right at you. From her other hand dangles handcuffs.
Ifan Ben Mesd is our living breeze. I don't know how you got free, but it'll be back to the joy with you, and no mistake.
One eye squints, the other bulges out even further, as if to compensate.
Oh, it's you, all right. It's definitely you.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Your little tricks won't work on me, Ben Mesd.
She considers your offer.
How much? So much. You have to be hiding something, and I'm sure Dallas will be well able to find out what that something is. Now, come on. Back into a cage where you belong. Your little tricks won't work on me, Ben Mesd.
The Magister grabs the coin and looks around shiftily, then turns back to you.
Get out of here, and don't let me catch you again.
Smells worse over here than a local day.
You don't even have a stomach. It'd just be indulgent. Oh, how pensively our shield looks down upon us.
You ever think about running off? Like Barbie and Sam?
Off you go. I can't be seen raternizing with the likes of you. A sorcerer? Ha! Second rat wizards by my book. The reddish-coloured flesh beasts round here string your kind up by their hands. Well, I'm a rat, and you're some kind of, curious, large-style flesh beast. Never the twain shall mix. Thus spaketh the reddish. Just look at what happened to that lovely flick-tongued scale slitherer when she spent too much time with a lumbering, large-style flesh beast of her own. No.
Meister's back! The Meister's back! She doesn't feel like playing, but...
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
damnable red cloak baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
I swear by the seven, if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle, and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. Apparently I had a claw in murdering their darling divine-in-waiting Alexander.
The Meister wrenches the bandage, pulling the fabric tight against her wound. She winces before tying it off in a neat knot, but you can see the red stain already spreading across the fabric.
Never mind that. That I was here the entire time. Apparently my cunning transcends time, space, and common sense.
Meister Siva freezes, her eyes locked on you, her claws mid-swipe, cutting a new stretch of bandage.
Why on earth should I have thought anything else? Not that I was sorry to hear about his death. I doubt my grin helped matters during the interrogation. It is not enough to be God-woken in order to ascend to divinity. There is a process.
As she speaks, the Meister uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall on her hand, but instead of infusing with her body, they quickly evaporate on her scales. She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before turning back to you, continuing as if nothing had happened.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Fortunately, the Magistrate calls much attention to art as they do to fashion. Kindly remove that painting from the wall. I pray my instructions will not be too technical for you. Push the button. wonder and pride. Now, kindly go to the vault and enter the combination. I shall call it out as you go.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Gleaming under the dim light, the metallic dial almost seems to wink at you. Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers falling within the mechanism let you know you entered the code correctly.
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, Godwoken.
Ancient rooms,
Come speak to
weird
me when
contraptions.
You wish to proceed.
This
And
place
try
is an
not to break
arcanist's
anything in the
dream.
meantime.
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order.
Oh, how pensively. Our shield speaks, Quercus. Prick. Aye, the giant takes notice of...
Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, Godwoken? You would trade every soul in Rivellon for the sake of knowledge. You would make a ferocious librarian. No, becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods and the responsibility for all the races. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us from the void. The divine cannot use his power for anything else. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then, well, not inhale the smoke, but whatever the skeletal equivalent is. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, itchy bones, or a dire sense of existential dread. They are all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard. Sauce in the glowing fountain. Ritual in the tome by the bookcase. Even an incinerator to provide a flame.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Quite. Mind you, being torn asunder by a Voidwoken would be even more inconvenient. So if you wouldn't mind...
The Meister points sharply to the ingredients cupboard.
And do not lose anything. These ingredients are rare indeed. I'm not hiking back out to the Cloisterwood to fetch you more blackroot.
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order. After a quick rummage, you spot the blackroot nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and drudene oil. You gather up the blackroot, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed. As the smoke swirls about your skull, your vision starts to swim and cloud. As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul.
This is the deepest recess of my soul. But it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Bathed in the half-light of this eerie, starless landscape, you spot a figure you could only describe as you. Another you. It looks haggard and weak, its voice merely a feeble echo of your own.
Thane! My child. Come. Come closer. Let us be revealed. No beast. No monster. Merely an illusion to be dispelled.
The apparition clasps your face in shaking skeletal hands, and you feel a tingle run through your bones. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color before fading back to their accustomed spectrum.
Time to open the eyes you lost so long ago. To see the world as you once did. Speak the spell, and see.
Strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the goddess Amadia in all her spectral glory.
You know me now, don't you, Fane? Your sister, your guardian. You were my hero once. You must be so again. Your kindred soul was my last refuge, my last bastion. From here I can aid you. But only if you grant me one small kindness.
Amadia stretches out and nourishes herself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself as it drains away.
Ah, yes. That is better. That is so much better. Truly, dying does not become a god. The forces of the king are hunting us down, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We are battling for our very survival, and I doubt you would have us lose, Fane. Should we perish, we will be cast into oblivion, and I dare not dream what he will do to you. Indeed, he may come to fear you, if you do as I say. You must realize, dear one, that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We are I. United, we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we are to survive the onslaught of the king and his void minions, you must remember what you have forgotten. We must become vastly more powerful. And once you are strong enough, we must travel to the Well of Ascension. There, you will become even more powerful. It is a lake, a pool of pure source, containing half the powers of each of the gods. We gave those powers up freely to create the first divine, a mortal we infused with our united strength. To bathe in the lake is to become the divine. But you, Fane, you could be so much more, and that is why you must be the first to reach it, no matter what the cost. I know, sweet child. Do you think I chose you for that fine bone structure alone? It is important you realize how high the stakes are. The void has never been this strong. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in its powers, but to take them, all of them. Even all those powers will barely be enough to defeat the king. Alas, I fear it is too late for me, and the others have shown they cannot be trusted. You are innocent, Vane. That is why you must wield the power. It was you that uncovered it after all. Of course, the others are saying the same to their mortal God-woken as we speak. But there can be only one. So make no mistake, dear Vane. The road to divinity may well mean the blood of those 6 traitors staining your ivory hands. But do not let that dismay you. You will save these mortals. You will save this world. You will save me, the last of your true kin. And you will become a god. Dearest heart, you cannot tell me you look about this world and see an eternal realm. It is far too crude. The others have picked up the taint of their mortal pets and contaminated this world accordingly. You and I are the last Eternals, Vane. That is why it will be us. That is why it must be us. They will be at your mercy, which is vastly preferable to you being at theirs, wouldn't you agree? So fret not, but revel in the promise of the lake. I will lead you there when you are ready, when you have remastered the source and once again speak the language of creation. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source as you once did, and wield its most powerful spells.
Laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
You flatter me, dear child, but if all I had to do was give, you would have received long ago. We are I now. I shall teach you the spells you need to remember soon, but not before you relearn how to channel the source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek these masters of the source. You must make them teach you, so that you can regain your full power. They may be nothing but mortals, but like all mortals, they have their uses. Return to Rivellon, seek them out, and force these masters to share the knowledge they have gleaned. Once you have, return to me here. You had forgotten how to view the world, my child. This will make you understand that for us, there is precious little difference between the living and the dead. Source is. It is a constant, a subject of neither time nor transience. All of life is Source, and in Source it is, immortally so. Your vision has been restored, giving you the power to see spirits, the souls of dead mortals made manifest in source. Speak the spell during your peregrinations, and you will see them. Where the dead lie, the dead linger. Alas, I am no longer who I once was, bound to you as I've become. I will teach you what I can, but the links that will expand the bounds of your soul, those are connections I cannot make for you. Good luck, dear Fane. Make me proud.
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
She sighs impatiently as you hold your head in your hands, rubbing what's left of your temples.
You can't channel enough sauce? Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? Finding an orc to dance the hornpipe, perhaps? Indeed not. And ever more difficult when you've been purged. I was a master of sauce once, but no longer. The Magisters saw to that. The river of my source has been damned. My link to the font from which it flows, severed. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. Were the circumstances any different, I would indeed agree. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your source, saving Rivellon, please. Please tell me at least some of this rings a bell. Your focus, your only focus, must be on finding these masters, on finding the secrets to divinity. Nothing else matters. The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource. But do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just keep your eye sockets peeled. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
The The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems
You can see me. A godwoken in my presence. You honor me. I am the Meister's apprentice. I study under her, but I do not learn. I hear tales of the ritual, of what lies beyond. Such wonders, such powers. I decide to pursue them myself. Meister tells me it cannot happen, that I am not godwoken. But in my heart, I know I'm special. I try. I burn the root. I breathe the smoke and it burns me back. No air fills my lungs, only fire. When the darkness falls, I cannot cry out. I leave my life behind with a shameful whimper.
The spirit looks at you regretfully.
It is hard to hear of such power and not covet it for yourself. I lie to myself and convince myself that I am special. But I am not special. I am dead.